Today I want to talk about something that has the power to transform our lives, the power of self-love in healing. We live in a world where we often seek validation from others, compare ourselves to unrealistic standards, and judge our worth based on external achievements. But in this pursuit, we sometimes forget the most important relationship we have, the one with ourselves. Self-love is not just about treating yourself to a nice meal or a day off. It is about truly accepting who you are, embracing your flaws, and nurturing your inner self. It is about speaking kindly to yourself, forgiving your past mistakes, and understanding that you are worthy of love just as you are. Self-love is a powerful force that plays a crucial role in emotional healing. Many of us carry emotional wounds from past experiences, failures, rejections, heartbreaks, or childhood traumas. These wounds, if left unhealed, can affect our self-esteem, relationships, and overall well-being. However, self-love acts as a soothing balm that helps us process these emotions, forgive ourselves, and move forward with a renewed sense of purpose. When we practice self-love, we stop being our own harshest critics. Often we hold on to guilt and regret for things we did or didn't do, replaying painful moments in our minds. This constant self-blame only deepens our emotional wounds. But when we choose to love ourselves, we begin to shift our perspective. Instead of focusing on what went wrong, we start recognizing our growth. We understand that mistakes are a part of life and that they do not define our worth. One of the most important aspects of emotional healing through self-love is self-forgiveness. Many people struggle to heal because they cannot forgive themselves for past actions. They believe they are unworthy of happiness because of their mistakes. However, true healing comes when we acknowledge our imperfections and choose to be kind to ourselves. Self-love reminds us that we are human, and just like everyone else, we are allowed to grow, learn, and improve. Another way self-love promotes emotional healing is by helping us set healthy boundaries. When we love ourselves, we no longer tolerate situations or relationships that drain us emotionally. We become more aware of how we deserve to be treated, and we stop seeking validation from people who do not appreciate us. This shift allows us to surround ourselves with positivity, reducing emotional stress and fostering inner peace. Practicing self-love also encourages us to take better care of our mental and emotional well-being. When we love ourselves, we engage in activities that bring us joy, practice mindfulness, and take time to rest when needed. We stop overburdening ourselves with unrealistic expectations and start listening to our emotional needs. This could mean journaling to express our feelings, meditating to calm our minds, or simply allowing ourselves to feel and process emotions without judgment. Moreover, self-love strengthens our ability to handle difficult situations. When we cultivate a deep sense of self-worth, we no longer allow external circumstances to dictate our happiness. Rejections, failures, and disappointments may still hurt, but they no longer break us. We develop resilience, knowing that no matter what happens, we will always be there for ourselves. This inner strength is a crucial part of emotional healing, as it allows us to face life's challenges with confidence and grace. Ultimately, self-love is the foundation of emotional healing. It teaches us to be patient with ourselves, to embrace our journey, and to find peace in who we are. When we truly love ourselves, we free ourselves from the burdens of the past and step into a life filled with self-acceptance, inner peace, and happiness. Self-love plays a crucial role in reducing stress and anxiety by helping us develop a healthier relationship with ourselves. In today's fast-paced world, stress and anxiety have become common challenges, often fueled by self-doubt, unrealistic expectations, and the pressure to meet societal standards. However, when we practice self-love, we shift our focus from external pressures to inner well-being, allowing us to cultivate a sense of peace and balance. One of the primary ways self-love reduces stress and anxiety is by changing how we talk to ourselves. Many people experience stress because they constantly criticize themselves, replaying past mistakes, or worrying about future uncertainties. This negative self-talk creates a cycle of anxiety that can be overwhelming. When we embrace self-love, we learn to replace self-criticism with self-compassion. Instead of saying, "I'm not good enough," or "I always mess up," we start telling ourselves, "I'm doing my best, and that's enough." This shift in mindset helps to alleviate anxiety and create a sense of inner calm. Another powerful way self-love reduces stress is by teaching us to set boundaries. Stress often arises when we overextend ourselves, trying to please everyone or take on more responsibilities than we can handle. When we practice self-love, we recognize our limits and learn to say no without guilt. We prioritize our well-being, ensuring that we do not sacrifice our mental health for the sake of others. Setting boundaries helps us avoid burnout, giving us the time and space to recharge and focus on what truly matters. Self-love also encourages us to engage in activities that promote relaxation and mental clarity. When we love ourselves, we acknowledge the importance of self-care and make time for activities that reduce stress, such as meditation, exercise, deep breathing, or spending time in nature. These activities not only help us unwind, but also improve our overall mental health, making us more resilient to stress and anxiety. Additionally, self-love helps us let go of perfectionism, a major contributor to stress and anxiety. Many people feel constant pressure to be perfect in their work, relationships, and personal lives. This unrealistic expectation creates unnecessary stress and leads to feelings of inadequacy. When we practice self-love, we accept that perfection is an illusion and that making mistakes is a natural part of growth. We become more forgiving toward ourselves, reducing the anxiety that comes from fearing failure or judgment. Moreover, self-love strengthens our ability to handle challenges with a positive mindset. When faced with difficulties, those who practice self-love do not let stress consume them. Instead, they remind themselves that they are capable of overcoming obstacles and that tough times are temporary. This mindset helps reduce feelings of helplessness and worry, allowing them to navigate stressful situations with greater ease. Ultimately, self-love is one of the most effective tools for managing stress and anxiety. It teaches us to treat ourselves with kindness, set boundaries, engage in self-care, and let go of unrealistic expectations. By embracing self-love, we create a life where stress does not control us, but rather we control how we respond to it. Self-love is not just about emotional and mental well-being. It also plays a crucial role in strengthening physical health. When we truly love and respect ourselves, we naturally prioritize our body's needs, leading to healthier habits, increased energy, and overall well-being. Many health problems arise from neglecting self-care, engaging in unhealthy behaviors, or allowing stress and negative emotions to take a toll on our bodies. However, when we cultivate self-love, we develop a mindset that encourages us to take care of ourselves in a holistic way. One of the most direct ways self-love strengthens physical health is by promoting better eating habits. When we value ourselves, we become mindful of what we put into our bodies. Instead of eating out of stress, boredom, or emotional distress, we start making conscious choices to nourish ourselves with nutritious foods. A diet rich in fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, and whole grains provides the essential nutrients our body needs to function optimally. When we fuel our bodies properly, we feel more energized, our immune system gets stronger, and we reduce the risk of illnesses such as obesity, diabetes, and heart disease. Regular physical activity is another key aspect of self-love that improves physical health. Many people struggle with exercise because they see it as a punishment rather than an act of self-care. However, when we love ourselves, we view movement as a way to strengthen our bodies, relieve stress, and feel good. Whether it's going for a walk, dancing, practicing yoga, or hitting the gym, staying active helps improve cardiovascular health, maintain a healthy weight, and boost mood through the release of endorphins. Exercise also enhances sleep quality, which is essential for overall health and recovery. Sleep is often overlooked, yet it is one of the most important aspects of physical health. Many people sacrifice sleep for work, social activities, or entertainment, leading to chronic fatigue, weakened immunity, and an increased risk of health problems. Self-love means recognizing that rest is not a luxury, but a necessity. When we prioritize sleep, we allow our bodies to repair and rejuvenate, leading to better focus, improved mood, and a stronger immune system. Managing stress is another way self-love contributes to physical health. Chronic stress leads to increased levels of cortisol, a hormone that can cause weight gain, high blood pressure, digestive issues, and a weakened immune system. By practicing self-love, we adopt stress-reducing techniques such as meditation, deep breathing, journaling, or spending time in nature. These practices help lower cortisol levels, improve heart health, and create a sense of inner peace. Lastly, self-love helps us break free from harmful habits that damage our bodies. Whether it's smoking, excessive alcohol consumption, or neglecting regular health checkups, self-love motivates us to make healthier choices. When we truly care about ourselves, we take proactive steps to maintain our physical well-being, ensuring a longer, healthier, and more fulfilling life. By embracing self-love, we transform our relationship with our bodies, making choices that support long-term health and happiness. Self-love is a powerful force that helps us break free from toxic patterns that hold us back in life. Many people unknowingly find themselves stuck in cycles of self-sabotage, unhealthy relationships, and negative thinking. These patterns often develop from past experiences, conditioning, or low self-worth. However, when we cultivate self-love, we begin to recognize these destructive behaviors and take steps to change them. One of the most common toxic patterns is engaging in unhealthy relationships. Many people stay in relationships, whether romantic, familial, or friendships, that drain their energy and lower their self-esteem. They tolerate disrespect, manipulation, or emotional neglect because they fear being alone or believe they do not deserve better. Self-love teaches us to set boundaries and walk away from relationships that do not serve our growth. When we love ourselves, we refuse to accept mistreatment and choose connections that uplift and respect us instead. Another toxic cycle that self-love helps break is negative self-talk. Many of us have an inner critic that constantly tells us we are not good enough, smart enough, or attractive enough. This internal dialogue can prevent us from pursuing our dreams, trying new things, or believing in our abilities. Self-love replaces this harsh self-criticism with kindness and self-compassion. It reminds us that we are worthy, capable, and deserving of happiness. By changing the way we speak to ourselves, we shift from a mindset of self-doubt to one of confidence and self-belief. Procrastination and self-sabotage are also toxic patterns that stem from a lack of self-love. Sometimes people delay pursuing their goals or opportunities because they are afraid of failure or success. They unconsciously create obstacles for themselves, staying in their comfort zones even when they know they are capable of more. Self-love helps us recognize our potential and push past these self-imposed limitations. When we truly value ourselves, we take action, trust our abilities, and move forward without fear. People who lack self-love also tend to prioritize others' needs over their own, leading to burnout and emotional exhaustion. This toxic habit of people-pleasing often stems from a desire for validation or fear of disappointing others. However, self-love teaches us that we do not have to sacrifice our own well-being to gain approval. When we set healthy boundaries and learn to say no, we protect our energy and focus on what truly matters. Self-love also helps us break free from destructive habits such as overeating, substance abuse, or staying in environments that harm our mental and physical health. Many of these behaviors arise from emotional wounds or unresolved trauma. When we cultivate self-love, we seek healing instead of temporary distractions. We begin to make choices that nourish our minds, bodies, and souls rather than harm them. Ultimately, self-love is the key to breaking toxic patterns and creating a healthier, more fulfilling life. It empowers us to make choices that align with our true selves, prioritize our well-being, and step into a future free from limitations. Self-love plays a crucial role in boosting self-worth and confidence, allowing us to recognize our true value and navigate life with a strong sense of self. Many people struggle with feelings of inadequacy, constantly comparing themselves to others or seeking validation from external sources. This often leads to self-doubt, hesitation, and a fear of failure. However, when we practice self-love, we develop an unshakable belief in ourselves, which enhances our confidence and allows us to pursue our dreams without fear. One of the most significant ways self-love boosts self-worth is by helping us recognize that our value is not determined by external achievements, appearance, or other people's opinions. Society often conditions us to believe that we must reach certain milestones, such as career success, financial stability, or a specific body image to be considered worthy. However, self-love shifts our perspective, reminding us that we are inherently valuable just as we are. When we stop tying our worth to external factors, we gain confidence in our unique qualities and abilities. Another way self-love enhances confidence is by eliminating the need for constant validation from others. Many people struggle with low self-worth because they rely on approval from friends, family, or social media to feel good about themselves. This dependency can create anxiety as we become overly concerned with how we are perceived. When we cultivate self-love, we stop seeking external validation and instead trust our own judgment and feelings. This newfound independence strengthens our confidence, allowing us to make decisions based on what is best for us rather than what others expect. Self-love also encourages us to celebrate our strengths and accomplishments, no matter how big or small. Many people focus on their flaws or failures, overlooking their progress and achievements. This habit can make them feel as though they are never good enough. However, when we practice self-love, we learn to acknowledge our efforts and appreciate our growth. By recognizing our achievements, we build a sense of self-worth and develop the confidence to take on new challenges without fear of failure. Additionally, self-love helps us embrace our imperfections rather than viewing them as weaknesses. Everyone has flaws, but many people allow them to define their self-worth. They compare themselves to unrealistic standards and feel inadequate when they don't measure up. However, self-love teaches us that perfection is an illusion and that our so-called flaws are simply part of what makes us unique. When we accept ourselves fully, our confidence grows, and we no longer feel the need to hide or change who we are to fit into societal expectations. Lastly, self-love pushes us to step out of our comfort zones and take risks. Confidence comes from action, and when we believe in ourselves, we are more willing to try new things, speak up for ourselves, and pursue our dreams. Even if we fail, self-love reminds us that failure does not define our worth. It is simply a stepping stone to success. By practicing self-love, we build a strong foundation of self-worth and confidence, allowing us to live life boldly, authentically, and unapologetically. Self-love plays a transformative role in encouraging a positive mindset, allowing us to see life through a lens of optimism, resilience, and self-compassion. Our mindset shapes our thoughts, emotions, and actions, directly influencing how we handle challenges, setbacks, and everyday experiences. When we lack self-love, negative thoughts take control, making us overly critical of ourselves, doubtful about our abilities, and fearful of failure. However, when we cultivate self-love, we develop a positive outlook that empowers us to approach life with confidence, gratitude, and hope. One of the primary ways self-love fosters a positive mindset is by shifting our focus from self-criticism to self-acceptance. Many people struggle with negative inner dialogue, constantly telling themselves they are not good enough, smart enough, or successful enough. This kind of thinking creates a cycle of low self-esteem and discouragement. Self-love breaks the cycle by teaching us to replace negative self-talk with words of kindness and encouragement. Instead of saying, "I'm a failure," we start telling ourselves, "I'm learning and growing every day." This shift in perspective not only boosts our self-esteem, but also helps us see opportunities where we once saw obstacles. Another way self-love encourages a positive mindset is by helping us focus on gratitude. When we practice self-love, we become more appreciative of ourselves and our lives. Instead of dwelling on what we lack, we begin to acknowledge what we have, our strengths, achievements, and the small joys in life. Gratitude is a powerful tool for positivity because it trains our minds to recognize the good rather than obsess over the bad. When we appreciate ourselves and our journey, we naturally cultivate happiness and contentment. Self-love also helps us develop emotional resilience, which is essential for maintaining a positive mindset during difficult times. Life is full of challenges and setbacks are inevitable. However, the way we respond to these challenges depends on our mindset. People who lack self-love often view difficulties as proof of their inadequacy, leading to feelings of hopelessness and discouragement. In contrast, those who love themselves see challenges as opportunities for growth. They understand that failures do not define them, but rather teach